All glory to the Most High, Haya, Ashur Haya, Ba'ashem Yeshaya. It's your brother Shaman coming with another word of truth by way of the Ruach Kadesh. These days, I think in this captivity that we are in, we don't have the true understanding of what captivity is. So through the Spirit of the Most High, we're going to read some scripture today to get a clear understanding of what captivity is and how it plays, how keeping the laws plays a part, a direct part, in our being brought out of these captivity and into the marvelous light of the Most High, which is being in the truth. All right? We're going to start with Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Right? So these scriptures, everything we read in here was written for this time right now, for us to have understanding, direction, have a sense of hope of everything we're going through on the daily, that there's an end to it, and that there's a way, that we can endure to get through this captivity. All right? So we're going to look into some of the things, that's going to give us understanding to help us to have hope in these last days. Okay? First, we're going to go to one of the curses. These are the curses that were put on the biblical Israelites, who are the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, natives, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent here in the United States. You are the biblical Israelites. So we're going to look at some of the curses that were spoken to our forefathers by Moses, hearing the word of truth from the Most High. And we're going to be in Deuteronomy chapter 28. We're going to read verse 37. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Most High shall lead thee. Right? So this is one of the curses that we are enduring because of the sins of our forefathers, breaking the laws, statutes, and commandments given to us. It said that we're becoming an astonishment because most of the world, the higher-ups, the elites, and of all the nations, they know who we are. They know how we reigned and ruled this whole earth under obedience of the Most High and under the promises that He promised us according to this covenant, that we will rule and be above all nations. And so it's an astonishment for them to see us on the bottom of the totem pole in society, seeing us as, drug addicts, people that are in and out of jail, killing each other, are being killed by the other nations as well, and just not prospering, having short end of the stick all the time, right? We're astonishment to all the other nations. We become a proverb, they call us African American, which is a proverb. We're Israelites, from your specific tribe, where you be a Judite, Simeonite, Gadite, African American, or nigger, or Negro, or, monkey, whatever. These are all proverbs, okay, that we have become in all these nations where the Most High scattered us. We're not in our home nation. We're scattered abroad right now, okay? And this is what we become. And a byword among all nations, whether the Most High shall lead thee, right? So most of us don't understand that our way of living today is actually a captive life, okay? They say in this country, in the good old U.S. of A., right, that is the home of the free, right? The land of the free, home of the brave. Only the people who founded this nation, okay, the people who weren't in the cotton fields, the ones who weren't slaves, are the ones that are free, all right? We are not free, all right? When you want to get married, you got to go get a license. You got to get permission, okay, to go get married. Marriage license. You got to get permission to drive a car, driver's license. You got to get permission to leave the country, passport, all right? We're not a free people, okay? And if you really pay attention, we're under martial law right now because we're already in the checkpoints. We're already asked for papers, your license, your right. Those things are tenets of martial law. Checking and just you know, being under investigation of every single thing you do. All right. Now, I'm going to show you, according to the Bible and the history of our nation, that what we live in right now is a captive lifestyle. Okay. First, we're going to read Deuteronomy 21 and 13. And it says, we're going to start at 10, right? Because to give you an understanding what a captive is, you can only become captive when you're being conquered, as in war, right? So let's read this. This is Deuteronomy 21. We start at 10. When thou goest to war against thine enemies, and the Most High thy power deliver them into thine hand, and thou hast taken them captive, right? Verse 11. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Verse 12. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. Verse 13. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. So, one of the attributes of, or one of the spoils, okay, of war is being able to take the women, right? Take the woman, she's spoil war, right? Now, did the slave master, did the enemies, I tell you in Deuteronomy chapter 26 and verse 68, that we were sold to, okay, for bondmen and bondwomen, okay, did they not have their way, okay, with our Israelite women whenever they wanted? Yes, they did, right? Why? Because they were spoils of war. Because that is that's the tenets of war. You get to take the women. You done conquered and you done destroyed and beat down a strong man. Now the women, you get to take them and do whatever you want to do. Okay, I'm just showing you in the Bible. This is in our law. I'm reading out of Deuteronomy. Okay, so even as Israelites, back when we went to war and the Most High gave us the victory, if we saw a woman that we wanted, we could snatch her up, right? Now, that is not the whole purpose of this message. I'm just showing you some of the tenets to understand that those things went down then and they still going down today, right? Now, we're going to go to 2 Samuel. No, we'll go to 1 Samuel 12 and 30. And it says, and he took, this is King David, right? And this is when they went and subdued. They went and fought against Rabbah, the children of Ammon, all right? So this is in verse 30, 2 Samuel 12 and 30. And he took their king's crown from off his head, the weight whereof was a talent of gold, with the precious stones, and it was set on David's head, and he brought forth the spoil of the city in great abundance. And he brought forth the people that were therein, and put them under saws, and under harrows of iron, and under axes of iron, and made them pass through the brickline. And thus did he unto all the cities of the children of Ammon. So David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. So, now we got the king's spoil, right? It's got this golden crown, the scepter, It would take these things, which are spoils. This is what you get when you conquer another nation. You get to take their gold, their silver, all the king's, all the stuff, spoil of the king's palace. You get to take that. Then it also said he brought forth the people that were therein. So the men that aren't rebellious, that you that you can control, you take them and you make them slaves for you. Okay? You bring them here, right? You put them in the cotton fields, right? And you have them work for you. The strong ones, you can beat their back in, right? In front of everybody, all the other slaves, and let them see. Dang, I don't want that, right? I'm going to act right. I'm going to pick cotton, right? I'm going to work. I'm going to do whatever the master say, right? Because you're a slave. You're a prisoner of war, all right? And then they will do the work, right? For that conquering nation to build up whatever nation they want, right? Now, mind you, All the gold they would take from that nation and our nation, what happened? They took the gold. Who took down our nation? Rome. Okay, 70 AD. Under General Vespasian and Titus. Took all the gold, took it to Rome. That's why Vatican City is decked out from top to bottom with gold everywhere. In an overabundance, just unnecessary gold everywhere, right? Because it came from us. You know, we had all that, right? And so that's another spoil. You know, take the gold, take the people, enslave them. The strong man, you kill him off because you can't control him, and you don't want him to be a leader of a rebellion, you know. So you cut him off, or you try to discipline him, kill him, you know, whoop on him or whatever. This is what happens, right? Now, these things happen when the so-called black man, woman, and child was brought to these shores, okay, for slavery. These things happen, right? They put us in slavery, put us under yokes, you know. Most of you think, because of the 13th Amendment, that you're not a slave anymore, right? You think that, but you got to understand. Deuteronomy chapter 28:68 says that we were sold to our enemies. So, no man, it also says that no man shall buy you. No one has given our oppressor the money back that they bought us. All right? You have to understand that, right? I'll give you another scripture. We're gonna go all the way down this, right? We're gonna go to 2 Samuel. No, we're gonna go to 2 Kings 24 and 15. Why am I going through this? You're gonna see. I want you to see the whole truth, right? So it says, this is talking about the Babylonian captivity. It says, and he carried away Jehoiakim to Babylon, and the king's mother, and the king's wives, and his officers, and the mighty of the land. Those carried he into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon. And all the men of might, even 7,000, and craftsmen and smiths, 8,000, and all that were strong and apt for war, even them the king of Babylon brought captive unto Babylon. So, if you know about the World War II, the Germans, they were taking captive the scientists of all the other European nations that they were conquering, and having them help them in devising better weapons of war. Okay, they were capturing all the mighty men. You know what I'm saying, that knew how to, were great inventors. You know what I'm saying. When you conquer a nation, you're not going to throw away something that can be beneficial to the foundation of the nation or the hierarchy you trying to build up in your country. Okay, so this is showing you that they taking everything that they can that can be useful for the next country and taking it for the next. Right? Now, us being a holy people, matter of fact, let's read this right here. Let's read it. Some of us may think that it's got to be something tangible, right? But when you are a special people yourself, just bringing you alone, okay, is going to bring you everything and encompassing what you need to build your country. And that's what's going on here in the United States. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So if I was conquering this nation, all I got to do is enslave the people. Because since they special people, and they above everybody on the face of the earth, I can just bring them and tell them what I want. And they are going to figure out, they are going to invent, they are going to do all the desires that I wish for and some. Because they're special people. And that's what we've done here in this nation. It's just so much on the low that we done invented every single thing in this whole nation, man. Light bulb, stoplight, the car. We done invented so much stuff. It's like, the best way to look at it is, what didn't we invent? That's the way you need to start looking at stuff. What didn't the Israelites invent here in this nation? Because we invented everything, y'all. Letting y'all know. We don't just dominate sports and entertainment. We dominate every aspect of life, okay? The Most High said we are the salt of the earth. Okay, we give the whole earth flavor. If we ain't here, then this nation could have never become what it was and what it is today. Never. They had to enslave the Most High's chosen, the top tribe out of the 12 tribe, the tribe of Judah, right? And we got the supporting tribes here also dabbling in wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Unconsciously. But glory to the Most High, the truth is coming forth of who we are, and we can turn back to the laws of the Most High, right? But best believe, this is who we are. We are chosen people. So it's like, it doesn't make no sense for us to continue in these ways, you know what I'm saying, and keep on raising up the world of the heathen, right? So now I'm going to give you another scripture, which is in the law, so we can have understanding about how we're here now, how we are still slaves. I'm going to show you right now. This in our law. This Exodus 21:6, right? Check this out. Now we sold, our forefathers were sold to our enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen. All right? Check this out. This is Exodus 21:2. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go free for nothing, because the 7th year is the year of Jubilee, right? Year of release, right? Now, if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. That's our law, right? Understand that the year of Jubilee, that law is not what all nations, right? So I'm showing you how the rest of the nations deal with this law. For this master, verse 4, for if his master have given him a wife, she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. So this is the ideology they have. They're like, man, we bought these slaves way back in the day. And so when he had kids, and he already had a slave woman on that plantation, to the same seed that came from the slave that he bought, everything that's coming from him, it still belong to that dude, man. It still belong to that slave master. You got to know this, all right? You have to know this. They still look at us according to our last name, which is the slave name of a slave owner from back in the day. We don't know what it is, okay? But they still look at us and know, oh, yeah, you my property. Saying? Because you descend from that dude that I bought that had your last name. Yeah, you come from him. You my property. Right? It said that no man would redeem us. No one will buy us. Okay? Because our Redeemer is Yeshua. Okay? And he's coming in the spirit of power. Right? He's not going to come. It's not going to be another man like Obama, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. They're not getting us out of nothing. Right? The curse of the Most High said they had to go down, and they're going down. And they're going to go down till the Most High said the time is fulfilled. Right? Keep on reading. Then it says, verse 5, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. That's us. That's like here, like, man, we love the ways of this society, we want to integrate, we like this. Even though we know the inception of us being here was through slavery, and we know that we're mistreated here. We know this. We want to stay right here, and we want to deal, with our slave master in one of all things, work for him, which is just slavery. You're just not living on the plantation. You got to be somewhere every day to make sure you can pay your bills and eat and pay your rent, then you're a slave. It's just a different way of looking at it. But when you look at all the tenets of it, if you don't go to work, you're gonna die of starvation, or you're gonna be homeless, and you're not gonna be able to support yourself or your family. You're a slave because you have to go. You're a slave, right? This is what they're not telling you. Okay, we are prisoners of war, and this is how they have kept us as prisoners of war, giving us privileges, not having us to have to live on the plantation. Okay, you're still a slave though. You understand? If you gotta go to work, you're a slave. If you don't own your own land outright, meaning you don't have to pay taxes on it every year, property tax, you don't own the land. No matter what you do, because as soon as you don't pay that property tax, what they're going to do? They're taking that land from you. You just paid on it for 20, 30 years. But as soon as you miss one payment property tax, they're taking the land. That should tell you something. That should tell you something, right? Verse 6. Then the master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an ell, and he shall serve him forever. Dudes want to get their ears pierced like that junk is cool, like it's some kind of fashion statement. But according to the Bible, you're namely volunteering yourself to be a slave unto this wicked Babylonian United States nation till you die, when you get your ears pierced. Yeah, that's what I just read. Everything has an origin, y'all. Everything, right? Say if he got the wife from the slave master, and they had kids, and his 6 years is up, according to our law, he can leave. But he said, no, I don't want to leave, man. I love my master. I love my wife. I love my kids. I ain't going nowhere. They done interpreted, the powers to be. They interpreted, oh, okay, we're going to keep this slave. And this is going to be a way that we mark our slaves. Because now he's volunteering to work for me for free. Let's get his ear pierced, man. And what we do, we walk around here, men, getting our ears pierced, man. Not knowing what we're doing. It's out of ignorance. We don't know. But now you know. Okay? You're volunteering yourself to the nation. Hey, I'm a slave. I'm a slave, man, and whatever. What? Right? So it's another form of slavery right there. Now, we're going to go to 2 Chronicles 29 and 9. All praise to the Most High. It says, for lo, our fathers have fallen by the sword, and our sons and our daughters and our wives are in captivity for this. Right? That's where we at today. This is what happens in war. You know, when the strong man is taken down, you know, when the mighty men, you know, that protect the nation are taken down, families go into captivity. Right? Families were brought here and families were separated. Okay? And that's just one of the tenets of the curses, right? That we would bear children and we will not enjoy them. They would be given into another nation, right? So glory to the Most High. Just all tenets of slavery. We're going to go now to Ezra chapter 1, verse 11. And we'll start at verse 7 right quick. Also Cyrus the king brought forth the vessels of the house of the Most High. Stealing out all the shields, stealing out all the brazen golden shields, the vessels, the brazen altar, everything we had in the temple and back in the ancient Israel was just to the max. It was to the Most High, so we couldn't slack off. Everything was bomb, gold, you know, done with fresh lily work. You know, it was nice, right? So when we got conquered, yes, believe the other nation, like, oh, we taking that. Oh, I need that, right? Taking the spoils. Read it again, Ezra chapter 1, verse 7. Also Cyrus the king brought forth the vessels of the house of the Most High, which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem, and had put them in the house of his gods. Verse 8. Even those that Cyrus king of Persia bring forth by the hand of Mithridah the treasurer, and number them unto Shebazar the prince of Judah. And this, verse 9, and this is the number of them, 30 chargers of gold, 1,000 chargers of silver, and 20 knives. That's spoil, man. That's a come up right there. That's a lick, right? Verse 10, 30 basins of gold, silver basins of a second sort, 410, and other vessels 1,000. So they just got us, right? Verse 11, all the vessels of gold and silver were 5,400. All these did Sheshbazzar, Salakia, bring up, and with them of the captivity that were brought up from Babylon unto Jerusalem. So again, all the spoils, you know, all the things that are of value, gold, silver, you know, and that should tell you, gold and silver is chief, okay? There's nothing new under the sun. If it was chief then, it's chief now. If you don't have gold, you should get some tangible gold. That's real in your hand, okay? Because at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, and all day long, money ain't just colored paper, okay? You got to know this. It really don't have no value, man. It's just colored paper of what it says, the banknote. As soon as the dollar, the value of the dollar drops, because of all this madness going on in the Middle East with Iran and all of that, when the dollar drop, it's going to drop, and it's going to lose its values faster than you can blink. And so if you don't have some gold, which is always going to have value, always, then you good. Then you're not going to be good. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. You guys better know, man. You put your value into something tangible. All this paper money system is about to be done. Put your money in something tangible, okay? That's going to keep value, We're going to go to Ezra, just the next chapter in verse 1. Now these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity of those which had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away into Babylon, and came unto Jerusalem and Judah, everyone unto his city. So as you can see, our nation, we've been familiar in history with being into captivity, being taken into captivity over and over and over again. We done got spoiled over and over again. We done got conquered and captured over and over again. But the Most High delivered us out every single time. All right? He delivers us out every single time. Okay? And the truth of the matter is to know what is it that turned him to give him the heart and mind to deliver us out of these captivities, right? We're almost done. Just we're going into the understanding, okay, of what these captivities are. Let's go to Lamentations 1 and 5. All right. All praise to the Most High. Yeshaya. Okay, here we go. Lamentations 1 and 5. It says, her adversaries. Okay, let's start at verse 4. The ways of Zion do mourn, because none come to the solemn feast. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. This is when the Babylonians took us down, right? But understand, a lot of these prophets, a lot of these prophecies, these prophets are speaking, they are flip-flopping between ancient Babylon and modern Babylon. Where's modern Babylon? The United States of America. That is modern Babylon, all right? So don't think this all that's from then. Nah, it's not. This is from right now. A lot of them are twofold. A lot of the prophecies are twofold, and a lot of them just are subscribing just to modern Israel. Modern Babylon, right? But best believe, all these prophets, that is the secret of these prophets. They're talking about modern things that are going on right now, been going on right now, all right? Verse 5, her adversaries, talking about Zion, Israel, her adversaries are the chief, her enemies prosper, right? So our adversaries, Esau, and all of the enemies of the Most High that have conspired against us, according to Psalms 83, they prosper here, right? Because they businesses everywhere, and they run on the beach, get up, go have a cup of tea, worry about their health, got everything they need in their neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? They do these things because they are put over us because of our sin. So they're ruling over us. When they rule over us, you don't have to work when you're a ruler. You just sit back and chill and reap the benefits of your spoil of war. That's us, right? For the Most High had afflicted her. He afflicted us. For the multitude of her transgressions, her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. That's us. We're in captivity before our enemies. We don't know that they are enemies, but they are our enemies. Ever since, the inception, the Most High done revealed to us that the other nations are our enemies. All of them. They're not from the nation of Israel and the 12 tribes. They're our enemy, according to the Bible. Okay, not just the truth of the Bible. Okay. Now, we're going to go into, let's go into the Maccabees, because there's a little bit more about captivity I want you guys to know, right? And this stuff is deep. This should be pretty clear for you right here, right? All right. So we're in Maccabees chapter 1, verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. All right, this is one of the descendants of Alexander the Greek, that on whom he parted his kingdom. He put some of the kingdom, he delegated it, right, amongst I think it's amongst four different generals. But this one is Antiochus Epiphanes. He's the one that came in and he took Israel captive, right? And we're going to read what he did, what happened, right? In those days, this is verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. So this is your modern day coon, right? That don't love his own people. That don't love himself. That rather join himself unto his enemy. Join himself unto others that are against the better, the uplifting of all of us that are on the low, on the bottom, in the slums, right? These are your coons right now. These are the ones, man, that don't got no problem, you know what I'm saying? Downgrading, disrespecting somebody look just like him, a brother that look just like him, man. All right? In captivity, they pit the house Negro against the field Negro, right? They pit the dark-skinned Negro against the light-skinned Negro, right? It's right here. Same thing. Brothers like, you know what? We're going to go jump over there with them and get a position. Okay? And we're going to get a position of power with this country that's about to take us captive so we can rule over and be above our own people. This is what they was doing. So in captivity, you're going to have division within that nation that's being conquered because some don't want to lose their status or their lifestyle. So they sell out to the conquering nation that's coming in taking over. Right? Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. That's wicked. Because we had our laws, statutes, and commandments, and they went up basically begging the king, like, look, man, we want to be like you, we love you, kissing up and all that. And so that king like, man, you good. You know, just do how we do and you good. Just leaving the whole ordinance, that holy heritage given to us, because you want something material. Okay, you want to have respect. You want to have people looking up to you. You want to be, you know, in an authoritative position. You want people, you know what I'm saying, to hold you in a certain esteem, right? This is what happens, man, when a nation gets destroyed. You know, everything is splinters, right? Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. Verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. So, this is going into some more deep stuff here, right? This is a place of exercise, right? And you go deeper into the book of Maccabees, it also start revealing you that there's sports, okay, that they establish, right? Now, it says place of exercise according to the customs of the heathen, right? So these is not things. There was no football in Israel, okay? Well, no soccer, you know, no baseball, basketball, well, none of that. These are customs of the heathen. So this is something that you want to understand, because what's going on right now? They can't wait to put the Most High chosen, special people above all people on the face of the earth and have them battle against each other in sports. For what? Not for superiority, not to see who's better. For their entertainment, for their leisure. So they can sit there and be entertained when they're sitting there chilling. Right? Think about it, y'all. This is what captivity do to you. It puts you on a position where you're a servant on all levels. You're going to work their job to make them money. You're going to take care of their house. You're going to entertain them when they want to get entertained, however they want to be. You're going to invent stuff to make their life better, and you're not going to reap no benefits of none of that. Right? And if you get out of line, you got a little attitude about it, then you're going to get your back beat out, or get put in jail, or get shot and get put in the grave. Right? Be a good slave and shut up, right? This is what's going on, y'all. All right? This is what's going on. So they forsook themselves, uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Mischief, wickedness. Mischief is things that's not of the Most High. All right? Now, we're going to go into another verse. This is the same. Matter of fact, this is same chapter 1. We're going to start at verse 29. Check this out. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. Right? Who are these people, man? Who is this guy? What's tribute? Okay. Let's read a little more. Verse 30. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much of the people. Right? So understand, I don't want to skip past this point. Tribute is taxes. If you're paying taxes, if you're in a nation that requires taxes, that nation is a captive nation. The inhabitants of that nation are captives. The inhabitants of that nation are slaves. All right? So if you're paying taxes, that is your biblical proof that you're a captive nation. Okay, I just read to you, the king sent down his officers, to go down there and collect the tribute. Tribute is taxes. This should tell you, you're not free. This is what I'm trying to show you. You're not free. No matter how good a feeling, how much money you got in your bank, how many times you barbecue a week, you got a house, you got how many cars, you got bread, you're still a slave. This is what you got to understand. You're still a slave, according to what slavery is. I want you guys to know this, man. Verse 31. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. This is just lies and a deception. Before the Romans took down Israel in 70 A.D., matter of fact, it actually started in 66 A.D., there was a false flag that was put forth in Rome. Okay? They burnt, I think it's 10 blocks. They set fires and burnt 10 blocks of their own city in Rome and blamed it on some scattered Jews who came up there and did that as a rebellion from the Roman occupation they had on Israel then, in Judea. Right? They had false flags then. Just like they have false flags now. When you got certain mass shootings that I'm telling you that it's fake news, that people not getting shot up. You got certain forest fires that are starting, that burn down all certain parts. Man, a lot of this stuff is staged for legislation, for them to pass certain laws to further their agenda for when they want to really, really come down that day and take us out. Simple as that. It's false flags then, it's false flags now. Right? They'll set fire, burn stuff down, whatever. Sometimes now in war, they'll burn up stuff just to take you out of history. That is another, that is part of the art of war. You want to take away the historical reference that this nation even existed, right? You burn down their libraries, their history, their temple, in our case, the temple, destroy the temple, and the people, you want to convert them into your way of living, your ideology, okay, to the wine that you drinking, right? This is what the so-called Israelites here, this is what the so-called black man and the so-called Mexicans and all the tribes that have come here, looking for a better life, we're under this wine. We're under this ideology. We don't know we're captive. The customs of the heathen, we follow Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Easter, 4th of July, 4th of July, 4th of July, New Year's, all these pagan holidays are customs of the heathen that have nothing to do with the Torah, which is our laws, which is the instruction for the Most High, for the children of Israel. Nothing to do with our customs, nothing to do with our culture, nothing to do with our heritage. All right? These are the things that when you are taken into captivity, you start doing things that aren't according to your history and your custom and your heritage. All right? This is why we take part in all these things. If you look in the origin of all the holidays, it had nothing to do with us, man. It has everything to do with those who took us captive. It have nothing to do with us. We don't need to be messing with them. It's that clear and simple. That's simple, right? Now we're going to precept that up with one chapter passage from Yeshaya. So this is Matthew 22 and 15. Matter of fact, we start at 16. It says, "And they sent out unto their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master," talking to the Hamashiach Yeshaya, "we know that you are true and teachest the way of the Most High in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men." Verse 17. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? So Pharisees try to catch him up, right? Try to catch Yeshaya up, like, yo, we're going to see if he's going to pay tribute, man. See if he's respecting the law of the land, right? Verse 18, "But Yeshaya perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites?" Verse 19, he saw they dirt right out the game, like, right? Verse 19, "Show me the tribute money." And they brought unto him a penny. Verse 20, "And he said unto them, Whose is this image and subscription?" Verse 21, "They say unto him, Caesar's." Now, Caesar is the king of Rome, right? "Then said he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto Ahiah the things that are Ahiah's." Right? Verse 22, "When they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way." So understand, even when Yeshaya came on earth in the land of Judea, our forefathers were under Roman captivity, and they were paying tribute, paying taxes, right? What did Yeshaya say? Render unto him what's his, man. This is his country, and that's his money. Give him what's his, right? Now, to precept that, you go to Romans 13. Romans 13 and 1. Then we'll get into how we flip this, right? Romans 13 and 1. "Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Ahiah. The powers that be are ordained of Ahiah." Right? So everything that's set up, this captivity we in, the Most High set it up because of disobedience of our forefathers. So we're supposed to understand that the authority of here, we got to respect that power. Right? Verse 2, "Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of Ahiah, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation." Okay, so that's why, man, we got our laws out the word of truth. We got our laws out the Torah. But if there's laws of this land that we break, you still can get punished for it. Okay? Because we can't just follow. There's laws that we have that even in the law that's over us, when we follow them laws, it's not going to cause us to commit sin. It's not going to cause us to transgress our law. Right? I'll give you an example. In our law, a man can take unto him another wife. He can have two wives. Right? Now, of course, they got laws here talking about bigotry, and polygamy, right? But it's not a sin if we just have one wife, right? So keeping the law here, just have one wife, that's not going to put us in sin because you don't have to have two wives. It's just permissible to have two wives, okay? So we just got to respect the laws of where we at, you know what I'm saying? And in that time when we get gathered back, if it be the will of the Most High, by His grace, that we get gathered back to the wilderness, then we can be up under the law, under the rod, and be up under our own heritage that He gave us, and not up under the heathens no more. Okay? So, understanding that we are a nation, you should see now that we are living as slaves. Okay? We're brought here as slaves, sold as slaves, and still living today as modern slaves. It's just not according to what we see on TV as ancient slavery. We're in something called modern slavery. That's it. We're in more advanced civilization. You know what I'm saying? We're in modern times, so it's going to be a different type of slavery, right? The jobs aren't in the cotton field. The jobs are in factories. The jobs are in office buildings. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you're not going to have the same type of clothing attire. You're not going to be in the sun all day long unless you do like construction, like I do. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we have to understand. I'm working all this time, man. Oh, man. That's slavery. That ain't called nothing but a slavery. We can call it a job. It's slavery. All right? Indentured servants. All right? So, now we're going to check out a little more precepts to support what's going on with us right now. Okay, we're going to go to Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. All praise in the Most High. Hashem Yeshaya. Salakia, y'all. Here we go. Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. I'll start at verse 7. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. So understand that we're in captivity, knowing now that the reason why we're in captivity is because of the sin of our forefathers. Now we're coming into the understanding that we're in captivity and why we're in captivity. Right? This is two things we have to learn today. Okay, if we don't know that we're in captivity and why we're here. Right? Because the Most High's word is true, and if we break His laws like our forefathers did, then His words have to be acted out. Okay, so we're living out the curses that were spoken against our forefathers if they broke the laws that Moses gave to us. You know, that the Most High gave to us through the hand of Moses. Right? Verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Most High, our power. Right? So the payments, if you read in the Bible tell you the wages of sin is death. Right? So the wages are the payments. The payments that we got to pay for the sins of our forefathers is death. That's why so many people die here right now, right? And all through the years, because the wages of sin is death. Okay? Those that haven't had the faith, okay, and haven't turned back to the law because their knowledge of not being Israel, they still been living under sin. So therefore, the wages of sin is death. That's why the so-called black man, woman, and child, and Israelite, and so-called Mexican, and the so-called all the other nations that are here, under the proverbs and bywords, they're still dying. They're still paying the payments. Because this is what we're here for. He said we weren't here to prosper in this land and try to, make things better for ourselves. We're here to pay the payments from the sin of our forefathers. Then He's going to take us back home. All right? This is why we're here. That's it. All right? Let's read that right quick. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which is spoken of in Deuteronomy chapter 28, the blessing and the curse, which I set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Most High thy power had driven thee. Verse 2. And thou shalt return unto the Most High thy power, and shall obey His voice according to all that I command thee this day, and thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul. This is what we're doing now. We coming back to the history and the heritage of the word, you know what I'm saying? And turning away from the ways of the heathen, keeping the Sabbath, not eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, growing your beards, rocking your fringes, right? When we come back to the law of the Most High, verse 3, that then the Most High thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Most High thy power had scattered thee. Right? So the whole grand scheme of everything going on with us here is because we're in curses, under the curses, but the curses are almost over. And as we turn back to the law, statutes, and commandments, the Most High begins to turn our captivity into that time and that date Where if we are blessed, he will actually gather us back out of these lands of captivity and put us back in our own land, Israel. Okay? This is the whole grand scheme of what's going on, right? All praise to the Most High. Ba'ashem Yeshaya. We'll get another scripture just to back that up. 2 Chronicles 6 and 37. 2 Chronicles 6 and 37. All right. It says, yet if they bethink themselves in the land whither they are carried captive, and turn and pray unto thee in the land of their captivity, saying, we have sinned, we have done amiss, and have dealt wickedly. This is what we're supposed to do, right? Realize, man, I've been sinning according to the Bible. Sin is transgression of the law. So, man, I got to recognize, man, I was sinning. You know what I'm saying? When I was getting tattoos and I was shaving all the hair, making baldness on my head. You know what I'm saying? If you're a woman, I mean, you got to realize I was sinning when I was wearing pants. Because the Bible say, Deuteronomy 22 and 5, that a man should not put on that which pertains unto a woman. A woman should not put on a man's garment, right? A man's garment is pants. A woman should not wear the pants. Thus saith the Most High. Not thus saith Brother Shimon. This is what the words say. All right? And a man should not put on a dress. Thus saith the Most High. Not what Brother Shimon say. You understand? If you're an Israelite from the nation of Israel, and the 12 tribes, and you're a man, you should never put on a dress in your life. And if you're a woman that descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob from the nation of Israel, you should never put on pants. All right? If you are, you need to repent. Call to mind and tell the Most High you sin and ask him to forgive you and cleanse you of your sin by way of the sacrifice and the atonement that Yeshua did, giving himself up as a holy atonement for your sin, right? And then turn away from him, don't do it no more. Simple as that, right? Verse 38. If they return to thee with all thine heart and with all thy soul in the land of their captivity, whether they have carried them captives, and prayed toward their land which thou gavest unto their fathers, and toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house which I have built for my name. Verse 39, then hear thou from heaven, even from thy dwelling place, their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people which have sinned against thee. So best believe, we're supposed to be praying toward Mount Zion, y'all. That ain't a Muslim, Islam thing, man, okay? The religion of Islam is what? From, I think, about 740. I think Muhammad was born in 740. All right. That is not a it's not a old religion. Okay, it's an old religion. Okay, I think it's 540. You know, Salaki. I think it's 540. Muhammad was born 540, right? And he established the Muslim religion, the true Muslim religion, all right? And they tell him to pray, 5 times, trying to trump the Torah, and our dealings, how we pray 3 times toward Mount Zion. They say, we're going to pray 5 times. That's not a Muslim thing. They got all their tenets, a lot of their tenets came from the Torah, all right? And it tells you in their hadiths, in the Quran, I think in chapter 59 in the Quran, it tells them to follow those of the Torah because they know they got the truth from the Torah, okay? And so just to let you understand, us Israelites, we're supposed to pray toward Mount Zion when we pray. As I just read in the scriptures. We pray toward the place that he gave to our fathers. He gave our fathers the land of Israel. All right? That's where our prayers go. Right? All praise to the Most High. I got another precept for you. The Spirit of the Most High giving me another scripture. Okay, we're going to get this scripture right here. This is Proverbs 28 and 9. Proverbs 28 and 9, it says, he that turned away his ear from hearing the law, the same law that's going to turn our captivity, the same law that's going to put us back in good standing with the Most High, the same law that's going to teach us how to not be a sinner, right? He who turned away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. So if you're not willing, okay, to turn back to this law, but you praying, steadily praying. That's a detestful, hateful thing to the Most High. He didn't want to hear that, man. He hurting his ears. He don't want to hear that junk, man. He said, I told you these laws, statutes, and commandments, and you ain't following, but you sitting over here finna ask me and pray to me for anything, man. I don't want to hear none of that. You better understand, this character is of the Most High. He have this character. He's saying right here, your prayer is an abomination to me, man. If you don't want to hear the law, if you don't want to follow the law, if you don't want to keep the law, right? So all praise to the Most High, High Bashem Yeshaya. Pray I got edified a little bit today. The time of the Gentiles, time of the nations is ruling over us. It's almost over. So we just got to turn back to the Most High with all our heart, all our might, all our strength. And by His grace, His mercy, maybe we can make it out of here and make it back to the land of our nativity, right? The land of Israel, right? We won't be slaves no more. Okay, matter of fact, let me go ahead and read you. If we'll be blessed to make it to this point, let me go ahead and read you what the Bible say. It's going to happen with us if we are blessed to make it back to the wilderness. This is Isaiah 14, verse 1. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. This is what's going on right now, right? All the heathens, they're starting to cleave to the Israelites, okay, cleaving to Jacob, the ones that, because they starting to know the truth is coming out, that we're really the chosen people of the Most High. So now they're trying to be cool with us. You know, they're trying to be like, oh, you know, trying to be a little more cordial with us, you know. That's what they're doing. Verse 2. And the Most High said He will set us in our own land. So they know that it says that the strangers shall be joined with them, meaning the non-Israelites are going to be there too. But I'm going to show you how they're going to be there. Verse 2. And the people shall take them, us Israel, we're going to take them and bring them to their place. We're going to bring the heathen, the strangers, to our place, Israel. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High, which is Israel, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captive, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You see that? So everything's about to flip-flop, okay? If we can endure, if we can come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, okay? Everything's about to flip-flop, and we're not going to be the ones working no more. We're not going to be the ones slaving no more. First fired, last hired, right? We're not going to be the ones, man, that walking around got the, you know, hands up, you know what I'm saying? Show me this, show me that, and fear for our life. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to do that. It's all about the flip. But best believe, we're going to rule in righteousness. Okay, let's not get it twisted. We're not a revengeful people, dude. The Most High said vengeance is His. And He's going to put a spirit on us at one point to be His battle axes in this earth. Okay? But right now, we got to focus on getting back to the holy history and heritage of who we are, which is this law and the faith in the Mashiach Yeshua, right? One more verse. Jeremiah chapter 10. Hear ye the word of Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1, Slakia. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. That's y'all. Verse 2. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed of them. Right? Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. And I ain't going to go into the rest of that, but just letting you know, the customs, the ways of the heathen, there's no profit in there. Vanity. Right? Which means it means nothing. Okay? Our customs, our heritage is the law. Right? It's our saving grace. It's our deliverance. It's what's going to help us, you know what I'm saying, get out of the captivity. All right? So I pray y'all been edified today. I hope y'all encouraged. You know, pray, fast. I encourage y'all to fast, man. No food, no water. You know, put your body more of in a spiritual state to hear our power in heaven. That is a spirit. You know what I'm saying? And you can get answers. You can get revelation a whole lot faster, a whole lot more thorough. Okay, when you flick yourself into the Most High, you're showing them, man, I want to know you. I want direction. I want understanding. I want truth. You got to pray and fast, man. All right? And read your word, of course. But when you fast and you pray with it, that's subjection. You're showing the Most High, I need you. I want you, right? You got to have this part of your life going. You got to be a part. You got to have that a part of your worship. Okay? Hashem Mashiach Yeshaya. The water, all glory to the Most High. And y'all be encouraged, man. Y'all pray for me. I pray for you. Kwame Yasharala. Shalom.